I was going to mention today, if you have a little pillow or folded towel, it might come in handy at a certain point. So I'm going to sit on mine for now and then use it later for the knees. And I was looking at a few videos online yesterday. So I have some ideas for a couple new things. So therefore I have some stick figures and I might refer to those from time to time. And also just a little something to read to you to start things out. So let's get comfy. And as I said just a moment ago, it's really just always a pleasure to see everyone for yoga, and also just to have the experience of coming to this familiar space and to quiet the mind and to focus the mind. So for you guys, taking in my instructions, for me, following a sequence, we all have to kind of let go of those busy thoughts of the day. And it's really, I think, a very excellent mental exercise just to be present and to enjoy our yoga practice together. So we'll warm up, just take a couple moments with the hands here, sitting nice and tall, interlace the fingers, breathe in. And then let's today press through the palms. Now your choice if you want to round the back, tuck the chin, and then we'll reach out and around. We can just do that a couple more times. Inhale, exhale. And one more time, breathing in and breathing out. And then your choice, you could bring the hands right to the knees or thighs, or as I often like to do, just touch that solid earth beneath you. It helps us to sit up tall. It helps us to kind of acknowledge our designated yoga environment. And from here, we can soften the gaze or close the eyes. If you're feeling super busy in the brain, I like to just soften the gaze so we don't start drifting mentally. But do begin to follow the breath in and out of the body. And adjust the hands as you'd like. You can just notice the feeling of the body moving with the breath. You may hear the sound of the breath. Maybe extending that exhalation a little bit for calming effect. And I'm just going to begin with a little reading. I think I may have read part of this on Monday. But this is really about the power of the mind, letting us know that we really are in charge of things that we choose to create for ourselves in our lives. It says, mind is the creator of everything. We can therefore guide it to create good. If we cling to a certain thought with dynamic willpower, it finally assumes a tangible outward form. And then I love this one. I've read it before. It is not your passing inspirations or brilliant ideas so much as your everyday mental habits that control your life. So we can consider the power of our mental habits. And as we take another couple deep breaths, we'll do a little scan. Notice how we're feeling for those in real time on a Wednesday in March. And then lifting the palms, a chance to open to an intention and affirmation. So this is where it relates really to our mental habits, opening to optimism, to joy, to connection, to peace, letting go of what we don't need, frustration, worry, disappointment, whatever it may be. And with our intention set, a big breath in, hands up overhead and down to the heart. Take that again, inhale and exhale. So we'll start seated today. I'm crossing the legs, and I think a little shake of the legs and a little movement to the feet is always a good way to begin. I'm just keeping this little checkered pillow handy, so hopefully it's not a distraction, but I will be using it in a bit. I think I'll do the wave to begin with, just to get the body warmed up, the back stretched out, the arms moving. And we connect with the breath here, exhaling as we come forward, inhaling as we come up. One more time. And then I thought today would take a set with one leg straight, one leg bent. Doesn't matter which side you start with. Adjust the seat a little bit to level the pelvis. And we'll do what you could consider either drawing the bow or playing the harp or any other visual that comes to you. So hands together and then opening. And one more time. I'm just going to hold here. I like this opening stretch with the arms reaching one apart from the other. And then as you come down today, you could do your half wheel Ardha Mandalasana, but I had another little plan, which is to touch the hand down to the floor and then reach and open up. So first, without lifting off of the floor. And as you touch that hand down, you can kind of really, go as far as you want to. I feel a real stretch in the sort of back and side rib cage area. And I think this could be done in the lifted position here. So just be mindful as I check this out. Okay. Yeah, as I instructed, I better make sure it's possible. Seems like it is. Okay, so we're getting that stretch and that opening. And then whichever version of this you're taking, we're just going to come back to neutral and bring the knee that's bent up so that the kneecap is facing towards the ceiling. Okay, you might have guessed this is a setup for our seated leg lift. The straight leg is going to go up a few inches off the floor, and whatever you care to do with your hands, holding the shin or hands to the floor, should relax the shoulders and the face. Ooh. Go bring the leg down. While we're here, we can do a modified upward plank, just getting a little weight bearing work in. And then we'll come down, we'll stretch both legs out. And I did this slight variation on propping up the sky the other day, leveling the pelvis and then reaching up so the palms are facing one towards the other. The feet are flexed here. And then just point the toes and float the fingers down to the floor. Okay, so it's kind of like we're about to fly, have a little takeoff into the sky. Point here, flex the feet here. I really feel the leg muscles engaging when I do this. Last time, now I'm going to get back to my fairy dust move. This time, flutter the fingers, take all good things around you and through you. And then we'll get to the second side with your leg bent and adjusting as you need to. Okay, so we started with the action of the hands together and then the arm reaching up like you're drawing a bow or playing the harp. And we'll just take that a few times. Usually I do about 3. Okay, now I have to think what I did on the first side. Okay, I brought the hand down. Yeah, and I did a stretch. I'm reaching over and then opening up. Yeah, reaching over, opening up. Good, and then this is where I had to decide if it's possible to do this with the hips off the floor, which I think it is. And after you've done about as many rounds as you want to take, you could hold the arm in a lifted position a little bit longer. And then come on up and bring the knee facing the ceiling. So we're sitting nice and tall here. We have our seated leg lift. And we're not really moving much with this one. We're just trying to stay relaxed and keep the jaw from clenching, keep the eyes from squinching up. We'll bring the lifted leg down, upward plank, one foot to the floor. So one leg straight, one leg bent. A little bit of weight bearing. And down, and I think we'll just do another round of propping up the sky. So this is also, of course, staff or stick. And we'll, have the option to keep your feet flexed if you wanted to at this point, or flex as you lift the arms and point the toes as you lower. One more time, inhale and exhale. And then just with the feet in kind of a neutral position, we'll take a moment just to turn our head side to side so we get the neck stretched out. And giving a shake to the legs, and let's come on to the knees. And I thought it'd be a good day for our freestyle movement here. So if you do have your pillow, it might be a time where you want to have it to give a little more cushioning there. And once you get set up, freestyle, the breeze is blowing, the water flowing, just moving any which way. Feel out your shoulders, your wrists. You can move your head a little bit. And then we'll come down to our all fours position. I had a little extra stretch here for the hands planned today. So this is the one where we really spread the fingers wide and then imagine you're a cat and you're just pulling your little paw off of the carpet and maybe creating a little kind of, I don't know, like frizziness in the carpet because the claws are sharp. But really activating through all the fingers. And again, just opening the palms nice and wide. And then back to our table, and we'll take our first downward dog here. You can always do child's pose or forearm down dog instead. I'm going to walk the dog a little bit. So I do have a couple different plank pose variations planned for today. To start with, though, let's go with what's familiar, walking the feet back a little bit, shifting to plank, and what I'll offer is the flow down to the knees and then child's pose and then back up. And if you want a more vigorous practice, you can go faster than I'm going. I'll do 2 more rounds like that. So we get our nice downward dog stretch in. And we get our plank pose. I was saying when I was traveling, I was not in a position to go onto the floor in the places that we were staying. So I really missed the weight bearing work and also that traction of downward dog. And I did try to do it on a mattress on the bed, and it was so squishy. It kind of worked, but it didn't quite have the same effect. So last time here, down dog to plank. Hold a little longer if you want to. You can add a Kapalabhati breath or lift one foot and then the other, but we do have some more planks coming, so take it to child's pose when you feel like it. And just settling the hips back. You can open and close the hands, maybe shift the hips a little side to side. Come up with a V for victory or U for union and uplift. Bringing ourselves back to table. And I'll take a little combo here at this point that we've done pretty regularly. And there are 2 ways to do it. It's going to be the right leg straight and the left leg long. And then it's going to be the one where we bring the elbow and knee together. So you can keep the spine long and work towards stability here. You can also breathe in, breathe out, and kind of round. And then you can track the core muscles a little bit more. Okay, so watching out for furniture, walls, people, and pets in your home environment. As I bump into the curtain there. And do 1 more just for good strengthening effect. And then here's something a little different. I'm going to have you bring your hand down, but keep your leg lifted. I'm going to move forward so you can see this better. So my foot is flexed, my tummy is engaged. This is working the core muscles. I'm just going to take the foot over to one side and then to the other. And you don't have to touch all the way down to the floor. You're kind of heading in that direction, but not necessarily touching down. One of the videos I was watching was for the gluteal muscles. So you may feel this in the outer glute on one side of the body or the other, or both. Okay, side to side, right to left, left to right. We'll bring both knees down. We'll get off of the hands for just a moment. Inhale. This is a mudra, even though it looks like we're just being kind of authoritative with hands to the hips, the thumbs extended, the palms down. Hands at the rim of the pelvis. This is grounding and centering, Sharira Mudra. And then back to all fours. So we have the second side of the sequence with the arm and the leg. For me, the second side is the left leg, right arm. Okay, so see where you're at. And then you can keep your spine long if you don't want to flex and extend, or round as you exhale, bringing the elbow and knee together. Elongate as you inhale. Okay, so this one comes up in a lot of different videos, actually, not just yoga videos. It's a good combo for lots of different reasons. Okay, I'll do 1 more. Inhale, exhale. And then remember, we're going to keep the leg lifted. Your hand's going to come down. Make sure to not hunch the shoulders up, and also make sure to engage the core, so no strain to the low back. And then we're just going to take the foot to one side and the other. I'm not quite touching all the way down to the floor. A little different effect that way. Left to right, right to left. Okay, just always trying to move our bodies in different ways. And then we'll bring ourselves down. I'm just going to come back up again. Now I will have 2 different plank poses coming up. Let's do a monkey stretch first, just to get in a good mood for plank. No, I missed plank when I was traveling and couldn't get down to the floor. I really missed it. So you've heard it here. The first one we've done before, and it is quite a demanding version of plank, and it's a good one really just for getting a little extra strengthening in. So it's going to be spider plank. And for spider plank, we go to traditional plank, and then like a little spider leg, you take one knee up towards the elbow and then back. Okay, and you can modify, of course, do a forearm plank, take a child's pose if you don't want to be doing plank. Feel all good things happening if you're taking the spider plank. Getting warm, feeling vibrant. All right, we're going to take a breather after this. Down to the floor with the knees. Just slowly settle back. Now, some of you may want to do a forearm down dog or add a little more movement into the practice, a flow of one sort or another. But otherwise, bring your forehead to the floor, relax your head, your shoulders, your belly. Okay, power plank number 2 today. First off, I want to remind everybody of the fire hydrant move. All right, so everybody knows this one, the leg out to the side. Let's go one side to the other in table. So the leg is bent, the foot is flexed, moving and back, up and back. Okay, so that's the movement of the leg. Give your hands a little shake. Make sure your wrists are feeling okay. Again, go onto the forearms if you need to modify here. But this is going to be a plank where we bend one leg, flex the foot, and then the fire hydrant pose that we just did. So out to the side and back. A little different. I don't think I've done this before. I think I like it. Okay, I'm going to give us a breather before side 2. Okay, so just be aware of which leg you did. For me, it was the right leg. You can kneel with your hips off of your heels, or if you're okay in hero, come down as I'm showing, breathe in and breathe out. Just the warmth of the body. Appreciate the effort of this phase of the practice. It will have good results, I'm sure. We're going to do second side, so it's a little harder to see, I think, but remember, it's the fire hydrant pose movement with the leg. And you can do it from table if you don't want to be doing plank. Okay, so otherwise we set ourselves up nice and long and straight. One leg is bent, the foot is flexed, out to the side and back. Okay, fire hydrant. Ooh. And keep the integrity of my plank pose here. I'm just going to do 2 more. And I'll come back so I'm good and warm. I imagine other people are as well. You could take puppy pose, keeping the hips a little higher, child's pose, or if you felt like a downward dog, take a downward dog. And then we're going to come up. So we'll get into a lunge. Just want to lift the head up and give you a chance. It'll be the the right foot coming forward. So your left knee may be the part of the body that needs a little extra padding at this point. You may not need it, but just to let you know. So you can get into your lunge from table or downward dog. And I do like that 3-legged dog, down dog splits we can have time for here on the way to the lunge. Looking forward, bring that right foot through, and then you guessed it, down onto the left knee. So here's a little number that occurred yesterday when I was doing my own practice. Breathing in and breathing out. I don't know if I've done this before. It's like we're a wave on the ocean shore, just moving with the tides. Okay, so make sure your back knee is in a padding. Inhale. My hands are relaxed. Exhale. One more time. I thought we could come up with the arms. Now, I think my hands may go out of the video, so I just want to show you. I'm going to cross my wrists, bring the palms together, and then interlace my hands, but kind of gently. Okay, so not squeezing too tightly. And then I'm just going to, with that extra padding for my back knee, I'm going to take a little deeper version of the lunge. So everyone will decide where they want to go with this. And then this is a funny little number I think I've done before in yoga, but probably kids like to do it also. So we'll see how it translates on the screen here. We're going to just kind of release out of this deep lunge, bring the hands down. Do you remember this? I don't know who used to do that. I feel like kids used to do that. And then release, inhale. We'll come down to the floor with our hands. You can take a couple seconds with that back knee off the floor. And then your choice, table to child's pose or downward dog, or table or plank, down to the belly for just a little bit of a flow, cobra. And then I'm going to take child's pose. If you prefer downward dog, you can do that. And we'll breathe and relax. We have side 2 of the lunge to get through. So we'll come up and just have your pillow or towel handy if you were using it. Same idea here. You can get to the lunge from table or downward dog. In down dog, you get a little down dog splits time if you want it. Left leg lifted. Looking towards the top of the mat, bring that foot through. I'm going to add the extra padding. And then coming on up. Okay, so this is another way to feel like we're going with the flow. Inhale, exhale. Sometimes things can get a little rigid or tight in our thoughts or actions or just how we're feeling about life. And I feel like moves like this help to keep us kind of flexible, supple, kind of softening around those hard edges possibly. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to do one more round. Definitely oxygenating the body here. And then we'll come up. So we'll have the wrists crossed, palms together, interlace the fingers. If it feels comfortable, take your arms up overhead. You could stay here. You can deepen the lunge. You can add that little bit of a back bend if you want to. It's definitely a very deep opening stretch. We'll shift out of the lunge and then try this tricky little arm combo down. That was that. Good release. And we'll have a moment or two with the hands to the floor. You can lift off of the back knee if you want to. Now, I was going to suggest we press on up to standing from here today. Usually I give us another little time in child's pose before coming up. So I'll give you that choice. You could take a down dog, a child's pose, or just for the kind of practice of it, try pressing off of the back foot. Bring both feet together and then take that reverse swan dive all the way up. I will adjust the screen quickly here. And we'll just bring our hands together. Same kind of gesture. Maybe we head overhead, interlaced fingers. It's nice and soft at the heart center. So you can feel your heartbeat. Just appreciate where you have arrived at in the practice today. Come back to your intention if you have one. And then we'll release the hands. So a little more on a kind of different theme here today, just having seen some things online that I thought were interesting. We'll do a little shake first. This is going to continue the work in the outer glutes. And so the combo, as I saw it online, had hands in prayer position. Okay, we're going to go into something that looks like chair pose. So you all know this one. And then we're going to come up. Now, you may not want to have your hands in prayer. We're going to take one leg out to the side, back, and then down to chair. So it's a little tricky for balance. If it helps you to have the arms out to the side or hands to the hips. I think you can see the different phases of things though here as I'm doing it. I'm going to do hands to the hips. Now I'm going to go back to trying hands to prayer. You don't have to go super fast with this one. Be more aware of your posture, alignment, and balance. Okay, so you'll feel that in the outer glutes, outer hips. Do it once more to each side. Ooh. So good. Still standing. There we are. Inhale. We'll do half sun salute here as you exhale. Ooh, come all the way up. Let's take our old friend fish mudra, Matsya mudra, one hand on top of the other, thumbs extended. Again, just that thought of being flexible, supple, moving like a fish in water. Yes, nice and easy and steady. Okay, I'm going to move my pillow out of the way. I feel like it's a distraction. I don't know, maybe just for me. There we go. We don't need that checkered pillow anymore. This is a bit different. We've done this in the past, but not for quite a while. It's just going to be a standing inchworm set. It's really for the hamstrings. And I was laughing as I tried it before starting the practice with you all today, because when we met in person, we had a lot more space and we would do a few rounds of these forward and then we would turn around and do them coming back to where we started. I don't have that much room because there's furniture here. So I'm going to do one round forward, shuffle back, and then do another round forward. So this is how it goes. It's not too complicated. Standing inchworm. You breathe in. We're at the back of our mats. Okay, so you have a big long stretch of mat in front of you. We're going to fold forward, and if you can, bend the legs and bring the hands to the floor. Walk the hands forward, and then you're not going quite to plank. What you're going to do is just bring the hands forward, and then with straight legs, step the feet back up towards the hands. 3 straight legs there, so you feel it in the hamstrings. And then reverse swan dive up. Now, as I said, if you have enough room, you can do another round going straight forward. For my purposes, I have to step back. I'm going to do 2 more because you might have watched on the first one to get the feel for it. So standing inchworm, we come down. Bend the legs if you need to, or keep them straight. Walk the hands forward. Not quite all the way to downward dog, certainly not to plank. And then straightish legs. Bring the feet towards the hands. If you're like me and have limited space, it's an effort or a challenge rather just to step backwards without feeling like you're going to bump into something. Okay, 1 more time here. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the legs if you need to, or straight. Walk the hands forward. And then like a little inchworm on a branch, bring your feet up towards your hands. And reverse swan dive. A little something different, works the back of the legs, strengthens the body. As I said, we'll just pause here, let our bodies adjust, maybe release, take a little shake, and a little standing twist, just side to side. And after your standing twist, let's take a moment just to lift the palms up as we breathe in and lower as we breathe out. And we'll go to a wide-legged stance at this time. I'm not sure what makes me want to do this move on any given day, but from time to time I have to get back to it. The horse stance, legs bent, tummy and pelvic floor engaged. Ooh, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. 2 more times. Now, horse stance is a great pose for strengthening lots of parts of the body. So we're going to go back to it here. You can choose how deep you want to go into it. You do want to feel really that you are using pelvic floor and core muscles for support. The knees aren't dropping in, we're kind of pressing them out a bit. So once you find the position that's comfortable, let's do eagle arms. Okay, I'm just going to hold here. Hello, I'm behind my hands. There we go. You can go, deeper still if you want to. Breathe. Notice which arm is on top. I didn't specify. So we'll straighten up and release. Look at your arms. Ooh, put the other arm on top. Go back to horse stance. If you're feeling okay with that, try to feel the stretch in the shoulders, but relax the face, the jaw, and the shoulders as well if possible. Get the legs working hard. Release. Inhale. Exhale, just pause. We can take that same Sharira Mudra just to kind of ground and center. Feel that we have some belly breathing going on. And then we'll take a turn. If you want to be a mirror image, you can go to your right. And this is going to be a high lunge. So it can be a little tricky for balance. I'm going to, just for fun, go back to eagle arms. And just kind of find your nice lunge here. You might even lift and lower the elbows. And just notice which arm is on top. It doesn't matter, but you want to, on the second side, put the other arm on top. We're going to release the eagle arms and come into a standing twist. So one hand to the opposite leg. And you can keep your arms straight. You can have your palms together with the arms bent. If you feel like a prayer twist, we'll go your back foot a little further back. You can get your elbow to your knee. We'll go over your top shoulder. Strong, steady, and flexible here. Now, coming out of it is sometimes the tricky part, so mindful as can be. Lift up and open. We'll pause in 5-pointed star, so you can readjust the little on your mat if you need to. Okay, and then we'll take our high lunge to the second side. All right, once you feel your position out here, take the eagle arms if you'd like. If you can remember which arm was on top, that's a mental exercise. Take the other arm on top. Maybe that lifting and lowering. Ooh. Okay. We're going to take it into a twist. Everyone choosing what feels best. Arms straight. Arms bent with palms together. Maybe a little wider distance between the feet and the elbow to the knee. Looking over your top shoulder and breathing. And very carefully coming out, take your time. Back to our 5-pointed star. And we'll just take the hands to the hips as we've done before, just to ground and center. And then release, step heel toe or hop your feet together. One hand to the chest, one hand to the belly. You might want to shake out a little bit here. Again, I'm just giving these pauses because we're doing some things a little differently today. Just want to make sure our bodies are kind of in sync with where we're at, or if they're not in sync, catching up to where we are and finding that synchronization. I am going to finish with a balance today. So I did a little different version of this on Monday, and it's kind of fun, kind of challenging. It's going to be Warrior 3, and it has the possibility of a little lifting and lowering of the back leg with it. All right, so I believe everyone knows Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. You can have hands to your hips, or cactus arms. You can use furniture or a wall if you'd like. Most traditionally, the arms frame the head. And then what I did see once upon a time, about a week ago on my phone, was a little lowering and lifting of the extended leg. Okay, so definitely a bit more of a challenge, feeling it in those glutes, outer glutes, hips, etc. Little goes a long way with that one. So come out when you feel ready. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake it out. Second side, I'll just turn. Hopefully this view is okay. So the Virabhadrasana 3, and it's just great to use something for support if that would help you to feel good in the pose today, chair, a wall, whatever it may be. In kids yoga, they always hang on to each other. And I say, please don't do that, because if one person topples, then everybody will. I'm going to take my extended leg down and up a little bit. It's working the core as well. You can really feel the abdominal muscles engaged to maintain stability. Out when you feel complete. Breathe in. And whatever will feel best here, you might want to stand tall and just relax. You might want to do a real deep forward fold, half forward fold, or my favorite, ragdoll. Ooh, just hanging out in ragdoll. So it was a good thing for me. So some of you, again, maybe a little deeper forward fold, maybe a half forward fold. And then we'll come on up, and I'm going to pause halfway because we've been pretty active. I just want to let my body adjust. Roll the shoulders as I come up. One more time, I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. So it's time for our chi wash. Yay. You can turn towards a little view of nature that's inspiring, an image of art, photographs of loved ones, or just create a beautiful visualization in your mind of that which inspires you today. I just want to feel the feet solid on the earth. Just feel ourselves in this moment, this present moment here and now. Maybe imagine or visualize light, a certain color, certain feeling, just something that is washing through you and around you that has a healing effect, cleansing effect, and uplifting effect. Letting go, washing away anything we don't need. It's like a good day for a chi wash, so stay a little longer if you want to. Complete. We'll just kind of make a little transition, just briefly down to seated today. I'm going to adjust my screen. I'm going to look at my little stick figures and just make sure I'm remembering everything I wanted to do with you. Have some water if you want. It's time for roly-poly rock and roll. I have to just look here. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. A few more fun things. Let's go ahead and for those who want to roly-poly rock and roll, tuck into a little ball, rock back and up 2 or 3 times. Otherwise, sit and maybe do some circles with the hands to the knees. And then I'm just going to have us, those of us who are in real time here, take a little bound angle. And if I end up getting this recorded and it all works out, if you're looking at it as a recorded practice, you can of course pause and do pigeon pose or anything else you want. But for those of us here on this Wednesday in March, we might just take a couple seconds in our bound angle, turn our head side to side. And then come back to center. Before we come down, I'm just going to do a flying boat because I didn't do boat pose yet. And flying boat puts us in a good mood. Not that we aren't in a good mood already, but hands to your toes, your ankles, or your thighs, wherever you get to. Lift and hold and balance and breathe. Come down. Now I realize the light is a little different. This is a dark room, dark paint. And I said the other day, I feel like I might be blending into the rug and the woodwork, but at least my shirt is a different color today. So hopefully you can see things okay. I'll describe everything as we go. You can come down with care, bring the knees in towards your chest. Put a pillow under your head if you want to. Again, sorry if I'm kind of in the dark, but I will be giving verbal as well as visual cues at this point. So we'll do a little freestyle movement, arms and legs, smooth and easily. We're in water or flying in the air. And then I'm going to bring the feet down to the floor. And I'm going to take bound angle, which is soles of the feet together, knees opening wide. So tuck the tailbone a little bit here and see how things feel. You might feel it in the kind of inner thigh area. We're going to come up to bridge pose. Okay, so this is a continuation of this theme of working the gluteal muscles. So my soles of the feet together, my knees are out wide. I'm pressing the hips up. I'm going to roll the shoulders back, and I'm just going to notice how things feel. If you want a little extra in this bridge pose with the knees wide, you can kind of just gently bring the knees a little bit together and apart, like butterfly wings. You also work in the core a little bit longer. You don't have to do this butterfly movement. Okay, and then keep the legs as they are, lower back down. Bring the hands behind the head. This is a little bit more for the core. So this type of thing we've done in the past, but not recently. We're going to gaze towards the ceiling, lift the head and shoulders off the floor, and then come back down. Okay, so we're not yanking the head and straining the neck. We're keeping the neck long. I like to exhale and lift, inhale and lower. The elbows stay pretty wide apart also. So you feel it in the core, maybe in the inner thighs, maybe pelvic floor working a bit. Good. I'm going to offer two more here just for fun. And as you bring your head down, bring the knees together and hug the thighs towards the chest. You can rock a little bit or make circles with the hands to the shins or knees. Now this next final little core number, and I do mean final because we're going to start cooling down here afterwards, is kind of like the dead bug that we do, but a little different. So we're going to set up like this, and then we're just going to bring one leg forward and back, and the arms move both arms at the same time. So this is version number one. Okay, and you don't have to go straight with the leg. Actually, you can, just take it out a little bit and as far down as you want to go towards the floor. Now the full version, really working the core, no strain to the back. Here's wee. Again, you don't have to straighten the legs all the way. You're bringing them forward and a little bit down. Arms are moving. I kind of like this version with the arms and legs working at the same time. So we've done a lot of things like this. I don't think we've done this particular style though, with the arms and legs moving like this. A couple more. Inhale. Exhale. All right, you can do more if you want to. If, like me, you feel like you're complete, hug the knees in, and then we'll just have some time for stretches or poses that would feel good. Maybe a little windshield wiper pose, side to side. Maybe you want a figure four. We haven't done that yet for the hips. You can always go into a figure four twist if you do the figure four. And definitely just the final poses that help you to feel complete in the practice are great at this time. I'm going to do figure four to both sides. going to add that twist. Please just stay on your back and hold a pose for a little longer, or to do a few different poses, or head right towards relaxation if you feel ready for that. We have, as I've said a couple times already, done things a little differently today. So our bodies have had to really kind of figure out what's going on. Our brains have had to work a little bit also. The good news is now we really come into a place of stillness where we can digest what we've done. All those messages from each cell get to be sent to where they need to be. The body makes its helpful and healthy adjustments. When you are ready, support your head, cover your eyes, take your arms along by your side, and just breathe in. Breathe out. Appreciate the warmth of the body. It's that natural heat that we've generated. Breathing in, breathing out. Let everything go as you exhale. Any concerns, anxiety, uncertainty, whatever it may be that takes up space that we don't need, just move it along. From here, we know there's nothing more we need to do. We'll take this next period of time in stillness and silence. Chance to simply drop back, to release, to relax, and to let go completely. A little bit more time in stillness. And staying still right now, but attuning to our bodies. And we're feeling the weight of the body on the earth, taking in what we call our chi signal, that appreciation of the energetic aspect of our being. And then today I'm going to suggest, as you reawaken, that possibly, if you like, before coming back up to seated, you come back to your intention or affirmation at this time. So in stillness and in peace, it's fertile ground for planting the seeds of our intention so they can flourish. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a feeling, a quality that you'd like to open to. And if you're not sure what your intention is today, just be receptive for that which arrives. Maybe just at an intuitive level, maybe later in the day. Okay, we'll move here, just beginning to come back, fingers and toes, hands and feet. Blinking a little bit when you're ready, bringing the knees in. And however you'd like to come up, you can come over to one side and rest there, or come right on up, legs out in front or crossed. I'd like to just bring the hands together. I'm just going to do a little lifting of the arms. This is a little different, but just to wake us all up, open and close the hands. And then that fairy dust is going to go around us again. Ooh, all good things. And if you'd like, just bring the hands to the thighs. We'll have just a final few moments here, just taking in the good energy that we've generated. And as I like to do, I'm just going to repeat the readings that I started with today. So this is about the power of the mind. The mind is the creator of everything. We can therefore guide it to create good. If we cling to a certain thought with dynamic willpower, it finally assumes a tangible outward form. It goes on to say, when you are able to employ your will always for constructive purposes, you become the controller of your destiny. And then finally, it is not your passing inspirations or brilliant ideas so much as your everyday mental habits that control your life. And these are words from Paramahansa Yogananda in a little book I like to read. So let's take the final moments together here, breathing in and breathing out. And then bringing the arms up overhead, palms together and down to the heart center. So we can one more time appreciate the good energy we've generated, appreciate our time together. And then even though maybe you've done it already in the reclined position, just come back to that thought, that positive resolve, the mental magnet, the ability to create our destiny as it best fits us. All good things possible. And then hands at the heart. I'm going to close the practice as I usually do with one round of Om. Those with me, I'll keep you on mute, but please join me if you'd like at home. Inhaling to begin. Shanti, Shanti, peace. And with peace within and around us, let's take that moment to bow the head to the heart, acknowledging, appreciating the light, the peace, the energy within. And then lifting our gaze, honoring the light, energy, and peace within one another with a namaste to all. Thank you all. Namaste. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.